5 goals on 14 shots. That is a .643 save percentage for Sam Ersson.
Not going to get it done.
Over the last couple of weeks, against Columbus, .840. Against Detroit, .783. Against Minnesota, .857. Against Columbus, .833. Against Utah, .840. It's been almost a month since he's had a game with a .900 save percentage.
Yeah.
And it's not as if he was awesome against San Jose. It was just he was okay. He was okay in those couple of. Is the door opening? Not just for maybe Kolosov to get into that time split, maybe get half the starts, more than half. I've brought this up a few times. I don't know what their appetite is for it. But at a certain point, why wouldn't you play Fedotov? What, because he's bad? Guess what? So are the other guys.
Well,
what are we doing here?
All I can tell you is the last practice, I straight up asked John Tortorella that question. And John Tortorella said no. Ersson and Kolosov are our guys. We've made the decision. Fedotov is the 3.
Then why aren't you sending down that other guy, John?
Well, that's a fair question. But all I'm saying, you can keep asking the question.
Yeah.
The answer is not going to change until they change the answer. Their view is that we've made our bet. Our bet is Ersson, Kolosov 1-2. Fedotov is the other guy. He'll be the other guy as long as they believe that they're sticking with these 2. Nothing else I can tell you.
I understand wanting to give an extended, okay, we've named our 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Let's give them an extended run and see how it goes. But it's not just like we're getting mixed results or it's up and down.
No, it's been actively bad.
They're getting horrible goaltending.
Particularly from Ersson.
Sam Ersson is giving them, I think they showed the graphic tonight, worst goals against in the league. His goals above expected, horrible. He is not just playing poorly. He is playing as bad as any goalie right now.
Yep.
And I don't understand. I know we're not going to get the answer to change because we want it to. They're the Flyers. They're going to do whatever.
Just telling you.
And Ivan Fedotov probably stinks too. It's just well, then what's the point of having him here?
Yeah, I understand that a couple of weeks ago we made our determination. Ersson 1, Kolosov 2, Fedotov 3. I understand that. But your data points have changed, I feel over the last couple of weeks. And you made the choice at the freeze that you had to send Andre down because you needed to have a roster spot just in case. At least that was one of the theories that people were kicking around.
It was part of it.
Well,
it wasn't the only part of it, but it was part of it.
Sure. But if you're so out on Fedotov, if you're so 100% that these are your 1-2, then there's no reason to keep him up here unless you think someone's going to claim him, which no one's going to claim him. I'm getting a little frustrated because the carrying the 3 goaltenders thing made sense for a while you were using 3 goaltenders at least sometimes. And if we're never going to use Fedotov ever again, then he serves no purpose here other than clogging up a roster spot that would be better served with Emil Andre. Because yet again, I don't know how, yet again another game where I think we could all agree that the outcome might have been a little bit better with Emil Andre on the ice.
They could have used Emil Andre. I will hold to that. Whether it would have changed the outcome or not, I don't know.
I don't know.
What I can tell you is it's not like they would have been worse if Andre was in the game instead of Zamola. I guess Zamola did get a goal, so maybe they would have. Maybe they would have lost, 7-2.
So here's the thing. We talked about this a little bit on our last regular show, I think. That we all, collectively as Flyers fans, seem to have decided that Sam Ersson is good based on really just a half a season of good goaltending. And I was talking to someone here tonight during the game about this, and he kind of made a good point. That Ersson kind of started to blossom once there was really not a lot of pressure on him. Hart was being Carter Hart, which meant that Ersson kind of knew, all right, this is my job, this is my net. I don't have to worry about who's going to take it from me, Cal Peterson? No, I know that this is my net now. I can relax and I can play my hockey. He has pressure on him now from two guys. And I don't know if it's the injury. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's this pressure. I don't know what it is. But something about him is not the same Sam Ersson that we saw last season.
Yeah, it was really was November through January numbers where he put up that 930.
Yeah, it was great.
And I always wanted to see Sam Ersson get this opportunity because he looked really good when he forced his way into a time split last year. And then I respected the way he kind of just sucked it up, knowing what was going to happen to his numbers and playing every single night after Carter Hart is gone. I wasn't positive he was good. I'm pretty sure he's an NHL goalie. Maybe he just thrives in that backup timeshare situation. Like, the lack of pressure last year was, I can earn more time, but the franchise is kind of in Carter Hart's hands as long as he's here.
Right.
And as soon as he goes away, Ersson goes to hell. He hasn't really rebounded.
We got another month of him.
We got a couple of weeks.
I would say he was good through the end of February into early March.
Okay.
And then he got ran into the ground. He started playing like crap.
Okay.
To me, it feels like his ceiling to me feels like a 1B. Like, that's the max you could get out of him is if he's in a tandem situation in which he's the 40% guy, not the 60% guy.
Maybe. And you know what? I know no one wants to hear this after a game like that. It's it's the game before Christmas. There's a big break. It's the Penguins, so everybody's ticked off because they lost. I get it.
Yeah.
This is all information you're gathering.
Yeah.
The Flyers are in information gathering mode more than anything. Do they want to make the playoffs? Of course they do. Now, the sending down of Emil Andre leads you to wonder how much they actually do want to make the playoffs. But I do believe in an ideal world they would like to sneak into the playoffs, get guys some playoff experience, get the fans excited because, hey, we're on the right track. But more than anything else, this is an information gathering season. They're developing Matvei Michkov. We'll get to him later. They are trying to figure out what they have in their young guys. Sam Ersson is one of their youngish guys. Maybe this is something you just had to learn. And I think one of the reasons why both you and Kelly are so frustrated with the continued play of Yegor Zamula, and by play I mean the fact that he is playing, is that you look at it as we learned what he was last year. All of this is kind of just wasting our time because he is what he is. He's a passable third-pair defenseman. He's not going to be any better. Why is he in the lineup over Emil Andre? I don't think going into this year we yet knew what Sam Ersson is. And I don't think we know yet. But I do think that now we are nearly halfway through a season where he has not been very good. And this is information.
Yeah.
Maybe we are learning that he's just not very good. And I would rather know that for... You're never going to know anything for certain, but I'd rather know that for mostly certain than just give up on him because, you have a hunch he stinks. These games don't matter that much overall, and if part of the fact-finding mission of the season is you find out he stinks, and then you know that he can't be a number one, that maybe his ceiling is 1B, maybe he's just not that good, period. These are all legitimately important pieces of information you learn because then it tells you, he's not the answer. Kolosov, maybe he's the next guy we have to figure out if he's the answer before Carson Bjarnason and Negras of Ragan get here, and then we see if they can be the answer. But there is value in finding out that it's not Sam Ersson, if that's what we're finding out.
That's why I wanted to see him get this shot. I want to know. I don't know. I have no idea. And
I don't know either.
The circumstances of last year were so odd that I was like, I think there's something there, and I want to see. And now I just think we're seeing... And no, we don't know for certain. And listen, you can look to, we don't even have to go that far back. We're not talking Justin Williams, Patrick Sharp stuff. You can look in the league right now. Anthony Stolarz, Alex Lyon, guys who maybe we just didn't gather enough information on. And it's like, I'd like them right now.
Yeah.
They'd be fine in a backup role or a 1B role or whatever. I want to know about Ersson, and it's fine. If this is the way it's going, can we also... maybe he only starts half the games, and we figure out other stuff along the way as well, not just him, because this is pretty consistent now. We have a lot of information. Now you can talk about the workload last year, and now he's coming back from injury, but the injury is part of this.
Yeah, it is.
Part of his season this year
100%.
is he stunk for most of it, and he got hurt twice.
Yep.
That's not a goalie I'm really all that interested in investing a ton of time in.
If you're going to trust the guy to be your starter, you have to trust that he's going to stay healthy.
Yes.
That's part of the importance of being a number one is that can you play 55 games a year? Now, some
Right.
guys can do that well. Some guys can play their 35 games a year real well, and it's not even necessarily because they can't take the workload and stay good. Is that they can't take the workload and not get hurt? And
No, Michael Neuvert, he was real good.
yeah,
Couldn't
when
play though.
When he played,
Couldn't play
he
a
was
ton.
good, but he often got hurt to the point
Yeah.
where you couldn't trust him.
Yeah.
I guess all I'm saying is that I get the frustration now, but I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing if you just find out. Because, like, you named a bunch of guys. You named Solars, you named Lyon, you named Patrick Sharp, Justin Williams. Justin Williams is maybe the only guy who, like, they did get a long look at. His big problem was he kept getting hurt. And then they traded him, and then he miraculously became, like, an Iron Man, which, like, you know what? Sure.
Flyers.
Shit happens. But Sharp is a classic example of a guy they didn't give enough time to.
Yeah.
They did not get a large enough sample to give a meaningful a meaningful evaluation of what he was. They traded him first, then he became a borderline star elsewhere. I think you're giving Ersson a pretty big sample, so that if you do at the end of the season or the end of next season or whenever decide to trade him or whatever, you can at least feel like you gave him a fair shot. And if he couldn't hack it, at least he couldn't hack it, rather than you traded him away or you gave up on him and then he pulled a Stolars or a Lion and turned out to be real good elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm fine with giving him the opportunity this year. I just think it's trending in the direction of.
It is absolutely trending in that direction.
I think we're getting the answers.
Yeah.
And
we are.
listen, maybe the next 5 games he has 3 shutouts and we're thinking something
He
different.
could turn it around. There's no reason to pull the plug on him.
No.
Because, like, if he turns it around, great. If he doesn't, they're going to lose a lot of games and pick in the top 10. Win-win.
We all silly like the mayor.